Good afternoon, WPC friends and family. I'm back again with another installment of What's in the Kitchen. So today we're going to be making Amish cinnamon bread. And this is your full recipe. Please note that as I put my ingredients together today, I am making half the recipe because I made the other half yesterday so I can show you the finished product. Also, if you are a single person or two people household, half the recipe will make one loaf. The full recipe makes two loaves. So we're going to start out with a cup of butter, softened, set it at room temperature for, a couple of hours. 2 cups of sugar, 2 eggs, 2 cups of buttermilk. If you don't have buttermilk in your cabinet, you can make buttermilk with whole milk and lemon juice. The ratios are easily found on Google. 4 cups of flour, and that's all-purpose flour, 2 teaspoons of baking soda, and for the mixture in a separate bowl, you're going to combine 2/3 cup sugar and 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. And you're going to mix that together in a separate bowl. Now we're going to put our ingredients together. Remember, I'm doing half the recipe. So I'm doing the butter, which this is a half a cup of butter. 1 stick equals half a cup. So there are 2 cups and a whole 4-pack of butter. We've got, if I can get it out of the container, it's been sitting out for a while. So we've got half a cup of butter and our sugar. That's what we're going to mix together first. Let's reach back here and get a rubber scraper. Okay. While I'm mixing, we're going to go back to the recipe and let you see what's going on with your recipe if you're trying to copy it down. And I'm going to mix the butter and sugar together. Okay, we've got that nicely combined. If you're doing a full recipe and you have a stand mixer, a KitchenAid, or a Cuisinart, putting that together in a stand mixer is just as good. Then we're going to crack in our egg. Got a nice little paste going there. Put that sugar off. And we're going to mix that together until it's light and fluffy. Anytime I'm mixing, we're going to go back to the recipe so you can see. Okay, so next we're going to add in our dry ingredients, and what I have here is my 2 cups of flour and a teaspoon of baking soda. I already put that together, and then we're going to alternate with 1 cup of buttermilk, and we will spoon that in a little at a time. Some recipes will tell you to alternate. This one did not, but since that's my mindset, that's what I'm going to do. Anytime you stop to add ingredients, you want to scrape down the sides of your bowls and kind of turn that batter over so you get all the ingredients at the bottom of your bowl. Get that off of there. We're going to add in the rest of our flour. buttermilk. And now the last of our flour. And the last of the buttermilk. Sometimes I'll rubber scrape my buttermilk out because it is a little thicker. I like to make sure I get it all out for full effect. Okay, that's all of our ingredients. And you want to make sure that you clear your beaters because you want all your product. First, you give it a good dash. And since I'm at home, I just clear my beaters just like that. Make sure I get everything off. And of course, if you got young'uns around, they're going to want to lick those beaters. And that's perfectly all right. However, if you're making this at a school or other people are going to be eating it, you probably don't want to lick the beaters. You want to get them as clean as you can and then just go ahead and wash them. But that was a highlight of a cake making session with my grandma. Usually we waited around for that rubber scraper, that spoon at the end, and then those beaters. Yummy. Nothing like good old sweet batter. So we're going to set this aside for just a second, and we're going to put together the cinnamon sugar mixture I talked about earlier. We've got 2/3 cups of sugar, and then we've got 2 tablespoons of cinnamon. All right, we're going to put that in. And I use a fork. I just want to make sure that's nicely incorporated. A cinnamon sugar mixture like we're used to for a cinnamon toast or anything of that nature. Now you might ask, can you use regular milk instead of buttermilk? Probably not. What is happening in this recipe is that the acid in the buttermilk is reacting with the baking soda, and it's causing the cake to rise or the bread to rise. So I've got a greased floured pan. You use a loaf pan, and remember, if you're doing a full recipe, you're going to have 2 of these loaf pans. And we're going to put half of our batter in the pan. I can get it out. Okay. Make sure you got it in all the corners. Then you're going to put on half of your cinnamon sugar mixture. And you just want that batter covered in cinnamon sugar. So it's going to give us a nice cinnamon flavor throughout. Then you're going to put the other half on top. It doesn't have to be an exact half and half. Eyeball it, and that will be plenty enough. Isn't that batter pretty? Looks so good. And if you were extra good and you were a really good help, you got to lick the bowl. Oh boy, that was the best part. And then all of a sudden, they said nobody should eat raw eggs or egg yolks or whatever. I thought to myself, well, I've eaten a plenty because I have certainly had my share of batter and dough. Okay, get all that in there. And the next thing you want to do is you want to swirl it. You're going to swirl this with just a regular butter knife. And I like to go this way, and then I like to come back this way. Okay, get all that batter off of there, and then I'm going to finish it off with the rest of my cinnamon sugar mixture. Now what will happen with that cinnamon sugar on the top is it'll bake up, rise up, and it'll get crispy. And somebody in my household likes that crispy, crunchy taste. So we're going to do that with that. Now this is going to bake at 350 degrees for 40 to 45 minutes. It's going to rise up. It should come out of your pan, and it's going to be real crispy on the top, but you do need to put a toothpick in or a cake tester or something in the middle at about 40 minutes to make sure that your cake is done throughout. I'm going to put this in, and then we're going to see the cake that I did yesterday. Okay, we've cut off the back end of that. Might as well just show you because we couldn't resist. But anyway, this is what the loaf is going to look like, and that's what that swirl of cinnamon looks like as it bakes in. And it's got a little bit of a crunch on the top. Let it cool for about 20 minutes in the pan. Then you're going to turn it out, and you'll have you a nice loaf of Amish cinnamon bread. All right, good luck. Bon appetit.